So today I am giving my latest obscure animation, and this is for October, looking at the 1970 film, The Phantom Tollbooth. And this is a film I had heard a lot about, but I had never seen. It's directed by the legend, the animator Chuck Jones. It's a really interesting film. It starts out with live action about this little boy in San Francisco that gets this large package at their house, and inside there's a toll booth. And it turns out this toll booth is like a magic portal to this magical world, to this parallel world. And so this little boy named Milo, he goes through the toll booth, and it becomes an animated film at that point. Kingdom of Wisdom in the lands beyond. And that's where he ends up going to a whole bunch of different lands. He goes to Digitopolis and Dictionopolis, and the Mountains of Ignorance, the Castle in the Air. And they end up having to rescue the princess, Rhyme and Reason, that's being held captive in the Castle in the Air, and sort of fighting off these bad guys. There's all these different characters that they meet: the Weatherman, the Humbug, the Spelling Bee, Dr. Cacophonous, Cacophonous A Discord, King Azaz, the Unbridged, the Math Magician. Anyway, there's all these different characters that they meet, these different worlds that they meet. And to me, I was watching like a after school kind of thing you'd see on like PBS kind of thing, something similar to like Sesame Street. It also kind of reminded me a little bit of VeggieTales at certain times, where they're obviously trying to teach kids about math and about alphabets and about, just sort of basic things, and have this sort of adventure through it. And honestly, the songs reminded me a lot of the Sherman Brothers. I could have sworn that it was the Sherman Brothers. It sounded a lot like their music to me, but it was by Lee Pocris, music and lyrics by Norman Gimbel. And there's some pretty fun songs, but they're very like Sesame Street kind of songs. Numbers are the only thing that count, and noise, noise, beautiful noise, and the word market. Like those songs are very like instructional. They're supposed to sort of teach kids about the alphabet and about being polite, and about rhyming, and about numbers and things like that.
You write it down. Words. If you spot a brush fire, how do you warm the town? Words. If you have opinions, how do you speak your piece? If you rent a castle, how do you read your lease?
It's sort of it's not really I don't think a movie for adults. It's more for little kids. I don't think that there were parts that got a little bit boring for me, if I'm not lying. And it just was more sort of an instructional, I felt like, movie wrapped in this sort of creative packaging, which I appreciate. And I think it's good for kids to have this kind of sort of fun way to introduce them to these concepts and these ideas. But I just don't think that maybe it's like the greatest thing for adults, which is fine. Not everything has to be for adults. And but yeah, I don't know. It's just an interesting film. It was very creative, and the animation. It's rough. It's that style of sort of non-Disney 1970 kind of animation, like you see in like Ralph Bakshi, in some of those other animators of that era, and even in Disney to a certain extent, in certain films like The Rescuers and things like that. That it's kind of rough, it's kind of sketchy, it's not the most fluid, but it's very creative and it has its own style, which I appreciated. And you get to hear Mel Blanc in as one of the voices of several different characters, which I appreciated. You have Candy Candido. You have June Foray in this, who just passed away not too long ago. So some very famous voice talent that's a lot of fun. And it is creative and a nice way to kind of introduce your kids to some of these things. And I think that kids will really enjoy it. So that's sort of my thoughts on the Phantom Tollbooth. It's not one that I probably will ever watch again. I didn't love it, but I think it has its place, and I think it was a fun one to finally explore. So let me know what you think about Phantom Tollbooth. Is it a favorite of yours? Is one you grew up with watching? Let me know in the comments. And thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you later. Bye.